Good morning, Shetties.
Yo, 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 yo.
What's going on, everyone? It's Toy with the capital T.
Good morning, beautiful people. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Sheila. Did I brush my teeth this morning? I don't know. Can y'all smell it through the mic? Yeah, if my breath stink through the mic, I don't remember if I brushed my teeth this morning. I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did.
How's everyone doing?
My shiny teeth in me.
Good morning, Sarah.
My shiny teeth that sparkles just like the stars in space.
Today's tie is a Versace tie.
I need to learn that song. I'm finna look up the words. Look at when I learn the words, it's a rap. Y'all don't even understand. I'm finna be in a shower.
What's up, Rebecca? Good morning.
Singing my shiny teeth
Everyone
in me.
say hi. And hit like and stuff. That'd be cool.
Hey,
Appreciate
Rebecca.
Y'all should do that.
Rebecca, I still remember you said my forehead is big. So just reminding you that those words are still in the comments for about 5-6 episodes ago. So yeah, I'm still hurt about that. I haven't recovered yet. I've been seeing a doctor via Zoom. So
What's up, Heather Marie?
we've been measuring my head every day, doing some 3D stuff to try to get the exact dimensions to see if it's actually a 5 head or a 4 head. So when I have those results back, I will definitely be letting
She
you
says
know.
you're a cute ass 5-head. Good morning, Jordan.
Oh, see, you didn't say that the first time. That's why I was so offended. See, if you would have complimented me and then said it was big, I would have been like, okay, I can take that because now my feelings aren't hurt. At least it's a cute big head. But you didn't say that last time. You just was like, hey, you got a 5 head. No adjectives, no verbs, no no nouns. It was just straight, hey, you got a big
Can I say that Jordan just came into the audience, and Jordan is probably one of the only people that could literally just, I have no idea what URL he just pasted in there. I have no idea what it was, and I immediately just pinned it. I'm like, whatever Jordan just put in there, he could have put in like,
Wait, what? That is a shape scale.
What's that?
That's for my head, bro.
Oh, let me unpin that then. I can't even read it from here. My vision's a little blur. It's small. I had no idea what it was, and I can't see your water thing is in the way over here. I can't. Really see anything there. I unpinned it.
That.
No, I can't do that, Jordan.
Oh wow.
No, I'm not. I'm not on board with that.
I completely understand what y'all doing now. This is set up. Y'all set this show up specifically.
I wish I talked to Jordan. I wish I talked to Jordan that much.
Like Rebecca must have sent Mike a message like, "Hey, I'm a comment because I know Eric's gonna bring that up. I need you to do something for me." And then Jordan hopped on the line, was like, "Yo, I got this website I found that Eric might enjoy. We should just all, And so now I see how y'all did it. Now that's cool.
That's cool. Heather Marie, I think that. I guess it's not too long. So we are going to have a guest today, which is really exciting.
Uh-oh.
And his name is Rico Lamitte.
Rico.
And he'll be coming on in a little bit. So he's the founder and CEO of the Suave Life LLC. But here's the interesting thing is that Rico is also a board member of LA Normal, which is sort of like the...
What?
Which is the Los Angeles version.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Before you continue, say that again for the people in the back.
So our guest today, his name is Rico.
Rico
Lamitte.
Lamitte.
And he's the founder and CEO of the Suave Life. No, I know he's not up there yet. He's not in the Zoom room.
Is that his last name?
Oh, it is. Yeah. No, well, I thought it was Lamitte, but it's not. I asked him, and he says it's Lamitte.
So it is. Okay. All right, and he's
Rico Lamitte.
Rico Lamitte is part of L.A. Normal. You say?
Yeah, he's one of the directors. So he's on the
he's on a board for L.A. Normal.
Yeah,
which is similar to Mascan Normal.
It's the Los Angeles version,
but it's in Los Angeles.
Mascan, but it's in Los Angeles. Every state has their own, and some states even have more than one. There's definitely more than one in California. It's like L.A. They call themselves L.A. Just like in Florida, there's a Miami one, and then there's there's other ones too. I think there's at least 2 or 3 total.
So there's okay. So this would be an interesting conversation because I wonder how they run their normal down there. I just want to see what their structures are and who's on their board, and see if it's similar to ours. Because
hey, Tanya.
Because I would think that LA norm, because LA is huge. LA is it's a big city. It's a main city, similar to Boston. It's a big city. It's a main city that people talk about.
Oh yeah.
And so that means it should be a lot of, I don't know what word I'm looking for. If somebody can help me.
Well, and so here's going to be the really interesting thing, and I'm not going to spill all the beans yet. I'm going to let Rico come on and he can talk about it. But the really interesting thing is that the LA Rico had sent a letter to Normal National, sort of being like, "Hey, how can this be okay? Like, how can white nationalists be running Mascan, and that you guys are cool with it?" And so he got a response from them. And
so he sent a letter to who?
To Normal National, like the Normal that runs all of the normals, the overall normal.
So it's this group, and then everybody else is linked to them. All the states is linked to this main group. He said L.A. Normal sent the letter to them talking about Boston Normal. Or Massachusetts Normal, and how some of their people are in certain places they shouldn't be.
So yeah, Jordan, there's an effort going around where there's so by the way, it's interesting because I think people were sort of talking about like a new normal chapter in Massachusetts, but who knows? Like, I think we're going to talk with Rico. We're going to figure out. We're gonna figure out.
Smile, say cheese.
We're gonna figure stuff out. What's up, Pearson? Yeah. So we're gonna he's gonna. I think he seems to not be super happy about the response. What's up, Robert? Thanks for joining us, and Willie too. Thanks for joining us, Willie.
He should be mad because if one organization that's connected to a giant link,
let's let him. We'll let him talk about his life.
My bad.
By the way, he's cool with us.
I just get really hyped up about this stuff. This is important.
Well, racism is bad.
This is super important right now because
white nationalism is bad and stuff.
I mean, I just don't understand why it's not super important.
Oh, so the Freedom Rally isn't happening this year. I think they're doing something else somewhere. I don't honestly. I thought I heard something about them doing something in Salem, and trying to have a smaller version of it.
What's up, Piers? What's up,
they might do it.
What's up,
we'll see.
Robert?
So it'll be today's show will be interesting, and you should have
and other Robert.
You should tell people.
Boy.
Oh, it's a baby boy Jeffries. You should have people that might care about that conversation.
What happened to the Freedom Rally? What do you mean? What happened to it?
Well, COVID, mostly COVID.
What's up, Melissa? Good morning.
Me, Melissa. Now it's a show.
Just start smacking. It'll get popping. Get it popping. Oh Lord, this would be a very very interesting show today, and I cannot wait to talk. It'll be interesting. I just feel like there needs to be more communication with everybody.
Well, and so, I think one thing that's cool is that, where Rico is on the board of directors at LA Normal, like, he's black. So it's really cool that they have black people on their board of directors. Oh. Yeah, I think that probably helps make sure that you don't end up with white nationalists.
That's probably why he's so mad. He probably is feeling similar to what I feel like. Just the thought.
What's up, Kirsty?
Yeah,
Christy.
So Jen said,
Lisa.
Morning, Eric, and Dube-sicle. What is a Dube-sicle?
It's like Dube, it's a Dube popsicle. Who said that? Oh, Jen.
Also, what they do, so you got to
I'll take that.
You got a stick in you or something?
Because I liked one of Jen's photos on Instagram. I'm never on Instagram, and I went on Instagram, and then I liked one of her photos.
I'm trying to get back to this Dube-sicle, because this might be a hot commodity right now. This might.
Oh, it could be a nickname that sticks.
This might blow up.
But I'm not reading into Jen. I'm not reading into Jen saying it at all. Like Jen, the last that Jen's like, wait. Now that he said Doobie and popsicle, Jen's like, let me delete that comment.
Crystal,
retract.
Hey Lisa, hey Jody.
She's like,
Dube-sicle. I wonder what that flavor is.
What's up, Joe?
Is it a vanilla creamsicle? Is it what's the flavor? Is it mystery? Because usually anything that's like white is usually like mystery flavor.
Pudding pop.
All right, there you have it.
I'm vanilla on the outside.
He's a vanilla pudding pop.
But I'm the kind that it's the chocolate on the inside and it's the vanilla on the outside. It's the jello pudding pop.
Got you.
They still sell those? Now that Bill Cosby.
I mean, clearly there's one sitting right next to me, and it's not on.
I'm not for sale. No.
I mean, everybody got a number. I'm just, look. I'm just stating facts. That's it. In a facts book, it says everybody has a number. All right. In a book of facts, if this Dube-sicle went for a number, I'm sure there's a number that Mike could. I don't know
what I'm really fixing. Why? What's wrong with it, Jen?
What's wrong with
fix the mic wire? I have no idea.
Oh, I need to make sure I share this because this is an important day. What should I?
I'll just wait for your technical
what
feedback.
should I put in the description?
Our mics are in and out.
It's probably the way I'm holding it.
Is it me or is it Eric?
Like the stars
I don't remember you saying that. That was fun. We should go back.
There's nothing.
I'm a little hot. Do.
So today I'm gonna share and put very important day. I think everyone should watch this. Out of all the shows that I would love for people to watch,
how's this mic?
Would be the one.
And maybe I'll just talk like this. Is this better? Eric, they say yours is fine. I'll just switch over to the sexy mic. It's better now. All right, awesome. So
really white. So y'all gotta give me a grade on my teeth. Like, is it like white? Is it Mike's shirt white or?
My teeth are whiter than my shirt. No, I don't know about that.
Melissa says sexy.
So everyone should like and share the stream because this is probably a good one to share. This is gonna be a good one.
Please share the stream.
It's creepy. Oh. Christy, did you see my tie today?
Yeah, Mike got to talk about his tie.
Does that help make up for my creepiness? Why does me speaking in a sexy voice bother you? All right, you share that. I'm gonna check out the Zoom room. We're gonna see if Rico's ready. He is.
Oh, you know he ready.
Yeah, he was.
'Cause I can't wait to hear it. You know, it's cool when you find somebody with a passion just like yours. You ever seen two players yell at each other on the sideline about something that happened? That's similar to what this is. It's like, yo, we need to figure this shit out. So I can't wait to listen, hear what he has to say. I'm a good listener.
And before we, I know Rico's been probably waiting for a while for us to bring him on. But before and I also need to bring up Rico's bio. And Rico, by the way, we have you on. So Rico, welcome, man. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Rico, how you doing, man?
I'm excellent, man. Excellent. How you all doing?
Good, man. Extremely well. I'm glad to hear from you. This is it's gonna be some great.
I'm tired, but I'm good though.
Yeah, life is exhausting right now,
huh?
It's like walking around with a tick on you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to that. I'm used to having that chip on me, but I'm just tired of people not following through with what they say they're gonna do. I'm tired of people claiming to be allies when they don't walk the talk, and I'm tired of people wasting my damn time when we don't have time to waste right now. You know. You want to talk about it?
Hell yeah.
Let's go straight into it. Let's do it.
So Rico, it's a pleasure to have you on. You have a crazy
Appreciate
long
you.
and illustrious bio, and normally I would just like read through it because then it takes a lot less time than you reading through it. But I think we all want to sort of get to the good conversational stuff. So why don't actually you just give us the quick couple of highlights of who you are. By the way, we already have all of your contact info pinned up, so everyone can follow you on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and all this good stuff. So, but aside from that, give us a quick intro of who you are, man.
Yeah, quick intro with me. I'll just give a quick my quick background. From Virginia originally, military kid, lived in Germany for a while. Back to VA. Played college football at Northwestern University. Got hurt training for the league. Ended up with an opioid addiction, selling weed outside of Wrigley Field to get by. Went on tour with a bunch of pop stars, Justin Timberlake, Nas, Akon, you name it. Then I went into corporate finance, hard pivot. In corporate finance for a minute, and that's when I discovered medical cannabis, and it helped me break my addiction. Got out of that, and became an advocate. And about 10 years into corporate finance, the tumor, and I quit. I was the first one in my family to have a benign tumor. Father died of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Grandmother pancreatic. It's on both sides of my family. Lots of folks have. I'm the only one that survived. Ended up getting into the cannabis industry. So been the cannabis on the legal side now. And I've been on the legal side for about 4 years. I started a couple of organizations, helped a couple of companies go public. And I'm not motivated by a lot of stuff that other people are. I've chased the money, had a lot of money, lost a lot of money, and just did that already. I'm driven by helping people, and I see cannabis as a huge opportunity to help folks, especially people of color, to get out of certain situations that they were in because of systemic racism, because of a lot of misguidance as well. And that's what I'm driven by. And I think that's a big issue with a lot of people who claim to be in it for certain altruistic reasons. At the end of this year, we have World Health Organization, the United Nations voting on decriminalization globally, and Black people have 4.3% ownership in this industry. I teamed up with Ebony Magazine for a Juneteenth weekend to bring a lot of light to that, bring Black, brown, white, Asian leaders in the cannabis industry to come out and talk to Black business and leaders in the mainstream together and to discuss this and find a way to work together, because Rome is burning all around us. There's a bunch of bullshit out in the open all around us. There's a bunch of, I call them shiny objects. They're distractions. We need to worry about the economy, economics, because that's what makes this world turn. If you want to change the machine, you got to get inside the machine and change it. And we have opportunity bigger than ever right now. And with a lot of folks coming out and saying, all of our melanin deficient friends on the other side of the aisle, they're saying that they actually care. They're saying that they are finally internalizing what we've been feeling for the last 400 years. Awesome. And this is what I tell people, like straight up, like it took, after George Floyd was killed, I had 3 friends, 3 white friends. I have lots of white friends, period, but I had 3 white friends that actually reached out to me to talk about it. Week 3 was different. I had a bunch of calls, a bunch of emails. I don't know if some celebrity said some shit like publicly, but it angered me. And it angered me because we've been screaming this shit for like forever, and it takes a public lynching while we're in quarantine for y'all to actually believe what we've been saying. And so I told people straight up, like when I was on Cannagather, which I'm pretty neutral on Cannagather because it's not, that's the only thing that's not my company. I don't own Cannagather. And I told people straight up, like, we appreciate the calls and everything, but if you want to help, there's only 2 things that you can do: money or the microphone. Like if you're finally internalizing the fact that you do have white privilege, recognize that privilege is power. Power gives you a platform. And if you actually want to help, you can give money to help people get on an equal footing economically, or you can step the fuck over and offer a microphone. Like allow them your platform so they can actually amplify their messages, and that's it. Mm-hmm. So, and like we're not asking for a bunch of handouts or anything like that, but this is economics, and if you have access to the loans, the opportunities to get into certain money conversations, like all that stuff, like that is what privilege is. And if you're recognizing this and you're claiming to be an ally, then walk that talk. Like we don't need a bunch of lip service. If people alert you to something that's going on, awesome. Here's your chance to actually stand by those words. And that brings us to last week. And yeah, so Ebony went off. It was awesome, man. It was the first time we had Megatron like speaking at anything since he announced.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
had, Calvin is a quiet man.
Yeah, man. It was an awesome weekend. Like wait till we like my team at Verity Media, we have some heat coming out. So I wait till we have the rebroadcast of all that stuff. We got so much. I think we have like over 30 hours of material because it was 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Last weekend. It was incredible. Like I said, 53 speakers, 6 countries. Just we had family conversations straight up. We talked about homophobia in the Black community. We talked about economics. We talked about the difference between advocacy and activism, and we can talk about that today too. And you can be an advocate, you can be an activist. The key 3 letters in activism is ACT. We get shit done. Mm-hmm. And we talked about that. We talked about coming together. We talked about issues in the Black church. We talked about all kinds of stuff that needed to be talked about because all of those things are distractions that are in the way of us getting to that bag, getting to economic control and getting out of this consumer mindset and into this producer mindset. Mm-hmm. And that was just the beginning. That was laying the foundation. And so this weekend, I was supposed to be just like all focused on follow-ups, nothing but follow-ups, making sure I'm connecting the right dots, getting our database together so we can connect the people. And so Thursday, I have Cannagather, the largest monthly cannabis event for like this. We've been running 6 years. When the pandemic occurred, we were going to shut down the entire company. So I ended up putting it on my back. I have a baby girl, you might have heard her a second ago. And I'd already planned on doing everything from home. and not doing as many events. And so I just put it on my back. We became the first in the industry to transition over to the virtual world. Our first event was 1,132 people attending. The second event was over 2,000. We had Bruce Linton on there, and just took off from there. We're on episode number 14 this Thursday, and last Thursday when you hit me up, Michael, and it was right before I was going live. I did not have the time to like truly process, like as you could tell, like from my responses to you. So I sent over Mike. You showed me that you were going at it with some people in Massachusetts in cannabis. I didn't really process it that were people running normal in Massachusetts. And then as soon as I did, I alerted our deputy director over here, who is the kind of de facto leader of what we do, because Bruce Margolin he's a little older, and he's like one of the OGs, and he's like one of the first. He's a real activist, and they'll talk about that too. But he's a real activist, but he doesn't really like run the day-to-day stuff at in our chapter. I'm the event director for Los Angeles Normal. I let our guy know, and he's like, "Oh yeah, can you send this over to National? Like, and just CC me on it." Like, I'm running a fucking event, dude. Like, I'm just like, sure, whatever. Like, I totally forgot about that stuff. Like seriously, I sent that over to him for him to take care of it, and I forgot about it. Saturday comes along, and Felicia Carbajal, another true activist, OG, she did hard time, and she actually does a lot of great stuff in the community. She had her Pride Day event, which I was helping her promote, and I was on there helping her out with it as well. And she had Cleve Jones on there, successor to Harvey Milk, a lot of like Black, brown, queer activists like on her program. I'm just like showing support, I'm showing love, I'm on there. And I get a message at 3:23 p.m. from our deputy director, like, hey, Bruce got a call from some people calling him racist for being in touch with Normal, being connected with Normal, like all these people from the East Coast. I'm like, why are you guys not in here supporting my friend's event?
Right.
I'm like, I sent that to you fucking on Thursday. On Thursday. And you're putting it on me? Like, I'm the event director. Like, I'm supposed to run parties for y'all and give y'all opportunities to be out in the open. This is what I do. This is my business. Like, the Suave Life, my company, that private parties, events for celebrities, pro athletes looking to get into cannabis industry, but they don't want to go to a sesh. That's what I do. And I gave you this damn information on Thursday before this damn anti-Black Lives Matter thing went down. Why didn't you? Like, you are the leader of our organization. Why did you not call ultimate leadership and tell them exactly what I told you on Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you calling me about this shit? Like this is a distraction. This is another one of those distractions that I'm talking about. Like, this is a distraction. You're putting this shit on me. Like, okay, cool. Screenshotted everything that we talked about, put that in an email, and I put in that email, like, sorry if this isn't in order, but everything is time-stamped.
Right.
And I'm back to my shit because I didn't really celebrate Father's Day as we should have last weekend. My mother-in-law is in town. I'm trying to like relax with my wife and all this stuff. I get a call back. Oh, I don't understand what we're saying in this. Like, you put them in order. I'm like, why the fuck are you like stuck on that? Do the damn work. Do the work. You had 3 days to do this shit. Like, do the damn work. Like, it's timestamped. Just put it in order. I'm not dealing with that shit. And Sunday comes along. I still haven't heard anything back from Normal National, no nothing. And now I'm starting to get calls from my people on the East Coast. Like, why are you involved with this organization? Why did you make this organization a recipient of any of the funds that came in from the Ebony event? Like all kinds of shit. I'm just taking a hit, like left and right. And deputy calls me again, like, oh, well, I went to this guy's website that you told me to. It just all seems like it seems silly. It doesn't make sense. It's like, hold up, stop right there. This is not silly. This is homophobic. Ooh. This is racist. This is sexist. Like, the same shit you're calling silly is why people get fucking killed.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
period.
And the straight pride parade turned into like a Trump rally / a bunch of white nationalists showing up to that too. So it's
neo-Nazis.
It's not silly.
Yes.
It's not silly.
Yes. So, right. And now you're just like, oh, we need to talk about this. I said, nah, man, you've taken up too much time from me on Sunday. My mother-in-law is about to leave. Like, why is my blood boiling right now? Like, you're a distraction, like straight up distraction. And that's how, if you understand me, that's how I work. I don't do anything surface level. And this is why I don't align myself historically with a bunch of organizations.
Okay.
Unless I start the organization, and because you're relying on other people, like you're relying on other people to do the work from a leadership standpoint that you did not put in place, right?
Right.
Like I didn't put that leadership in place. Like I can't be responsible for that shit, and that's the problem with like not being in charge of organizations or not having a collective that has everybody on the same level. Is like you depend on that kind of stuff. You depend on leadership to take care of stuff like that. And when people are calling themselves allies, especially at this pivotal moment in history, we expect you to be an ally. Being an ally isn't given a response on Monday morning after I send you a scathing email about why you did not respond. Mm-hmm. That's not being an ally. Like, let's say like it didn't happen, but let's say it did happen on Saturday. Somebody gets killed at that and at that rally, and by somebody representing normal, but they also are representing white nationalism. They're also representing like neo-Nazism. Mm-hmm. What then? I told you on Thursday. You had 2 days to stop what was going on. You had 2 days to distance yourselves from what's going on, and you chose not to. Mm-hmm. It was a choice.
Yeah.
And you know it's really interesting because there's a lot of sort of the white driven cannabis industry that is sort of waffling and trying to figure out when, like, how long to continue to support not just this but even just similar things out there in the industry versus like when it's the right time to finally say something and pull away. And right. It's kind of gross because really it's like maybe it's just my lousy opinion, but it just feels like people are putting a price on how, you know, like what it costs for them to be soft on racism and to do things that are contributory toward the problem. And so, you know, it's weird to see people say Black Lives Matter, like white people say Black Lives Matter, and then also continue to support people that are actually really racist because there's money tied to it. And it's, you know, and this is exactly what I said. Like, money or the microphone. Yep. That's it. We don't need a bunch of people saying, "Oh yeah, we're Black Lives Matter. Oh yeah, we're gonna black out our page today." Like you're checking a box. And if Black Lives really matter to you, it's money or the microphone. Give us the platform or the power. That's how you can help. Other than that, like we don't need the lip service, like at all. We're like. For the 4 months until election, 5 months until the world gets decriminalization of cannabis. Like, my initiatives are family and people, my people. And the other thing that I'm championing is by COVID, an organization that I'm part of. We're getting COVID-19 rapid testing out to communities of color. That's what I care about. Mm-hmm. Like I don't care about like saving your ass because you didn't stop a counter protest or anything like that. Mm-hmm. This is what I care about, my baby girl, right? Beautiful. Like girl. I don't care about like any of that stuff. Like I'm focused on my people, right? And you're taking me away from my focus. Like you're part of the problem, and that's it. Like we had. Dr. Dre, Jimmy Iovine donated $200,000 to actually get COVID testing out to the city of Compton. And that's where Eric grew up in Compton, by the way.
Dope. Yeah, we had Asia Brown. We had Asia Brown out there. I'll send y'all some links. Yeah. So Originals Nation is it's a Black economic network that I'm a part of. I've been for like 2 years, and their leader Tommy Johnson. he reached out to me. He had his baby boy, like literally the day before I had my baby girl. And he was like, yo, I have this opportunity. We're actually getting COVID-19 rapid testing out to communities of color. That's our focus. And, it's a good opportunity for us to do what we do. We're getting it at lower prices than anything else, but we want to get this in. Our focus is the Black and brown communities, like first and foremost, because we're at about 30% of the deaths, right? Mm-hmm. I was like, cool, put me on. And like everything came into alignment. And like, yeah, Dr. Dre, Jimmy Iovine announced that they were going to be donating for this cause. Compton was going to be the first part of it. We announced this stuff on Juneteenth. We got like 2 wrapped Sprinter vans out there, and this is what we're doing, because I walk what I talk. Like mm-hmm. straight up, like I don't have time for that other bullshit. Like that's what I need to be focusing on, is making sure that my people are taken care of, so they can get to this economic opportunity. And this is what I care about. Like I don't care about like anything else. Like, and it just hurt because number one, I put my name on an organization that I still believe in, that organization and mm-hmm. their core tenets. But if the leadership takes 4 days to respond to this, you're not an activist leader. You're not about that action. Like you act when you hear about stuff like that going down. If you hear about like anything, rumors or not, that your organization is tied to some white supremacy, you act because you are an ally and you claim to be an ally.
That's exactly.
And if you don't act on that shit, you're not an ally. You're a talker. Mm-hmm. You can be an advocate. You're not an activist.
Yeah, saying that's silly
and
is
it's actually damaging. And it's actually damaging when white people do that, because it's giving other people the excuse to do the same thing, right? And I think, for white people, I think the responsibility in this is to lead by example, right? Like Black people can't go to a racist white person and convince them to not be racist anymore. Like the nature of that relationship doesn't really allow for that. So like white people need to be the ones to be speaking out, because all of these folks that are somewhere between really racist and just kind of racist aren't giving Black people, like they're not believing Black people anyway. So like we need to be... Right. There needs to be white people who are actually like taking a zero tolerance on this stuff. And yes, there needs to be like some time and room for a lot of white people to be like, oh shit, like I haven't been acting right and I don't want to be like that. So I know I need to be acting like this. Mm-hmm. And it's just, but it's still really fucked up to see how many, to me, if there's a white plumber or electrician out there who's racist, like, hey, you do, I guess you're going to do you, but like for people that are in the cannabis industry, which literally was made available to all of us because of like an intentional like war on drugs, which resulted in, which was aimed at Black people with cannabis, right? Like it is so ironically like disgusting that there's a bunch of white people who are like, can think that like, oh, awesome, I'm in the cannabis industry and I'm doing good. And yet they're kind of like, that when this is happening, and especially when it's like brought up, right? Like if we're all sort of quiet, if we're all just sort of like going about our lives and no one's talking about it, I get how a lot of people aren't going to be like actively bringing it up, right?
But
like,
once
this is like, we're in like an acute time right now. And like, for people right now, it's like it hurts my soul, because I thought that a lot of people had stronger moral fiber than what they're showing right now.
And people will hug you,
there's still a chance for people to rebound.
Take pictures with you, have drinks with you, have a smoke with you, roll you a blunt, do all that, be sitting right in front of you, talking to you, but then go on Facebook. And it's like, yo, where was all this in front of me? Why did you even take a picture with me?
Exactly. and that's how I felt like all this weekend. And that's why I went down the rabbit hole. I didn't sleep a wink between Sunday and Monday morning. And I should have been like doing follow-up emails. I should have been talking about the next steps for this Ebony shit, but I didn't, because before I sent anything back to a normal national, I was checking on all of my facts. I was checking on the facts of shout out to the homie Mike Crawford. And I was checking like on all the stuff that you sent me, and it all checked out. Everything, every last bit of it checked out.
Hey, this is what I can say. You can be called an asshole all day as long as you're not called a liar.
Yes, like 100%.
You can be like, 100%. Yo, I'm
like Rico. I'm the mean guy.
I'm an asshole.
I'm the white mean guy in the cannabis community.
I'm an asshole for calling you out, but just tell me this: am I wrong?
Yes.
And if I'm not, if I'm lying, then say I'm lying. Don't say I'm an asshole. Say I'm a liar. But if you just say I'm an asshole, just be like, hey, like you're right. Just be like, hey, what you're saying is right. Just say that.
Right. Don't say I'm an asshole. That's another level of like systemic racism, because we, as Black people, we don't have the luxury of being a liar multiple times and holding our positions. We don't. Right? I mean, we don't have that luxury. Like, I'm like, is this right? Is this right? Did this line up? Does this match up? Like, yes, it all matches up. Here's my letter. Like, what is your damn response? Like let me be that asshole, because you know what? I have way too much at stake, and we don't have time for lip service. Period. Exactly. I don't have time for that. Like, yeah, I don't like being a liar. I don't like, and that's why I get so upset when people try to say that shit. I was like, yo, call me a dick, call me an asshole, like call me what you want to call me, like hate all you want. That's fine, but I'm not going to be lying about what I do, and that's why I don't talk a lot before I do stuff.
And it's like, fact check me if you think I am lying. Fact check me then. Tell me what I said that was wrong, and let's talk about it.
Right, and I tell like everybody I work with, I tell them straight up, like I have CTE from football.
Welcome to the club, my brother.
Right. Right. Playing safety, man. You hit everybody like every damn play. I have CTE from football. I forget a lot of stuff. Everybody in my team knows that. Everybody that I work with knows that. I tell them up front. That's why I take crazy notes with everything that I do, because I just forget. Like, right. Luckily, I'm not one of our violent brothers or anything like that. But I do have like blackouts in memory. There'll be like 3-4 hours of the day I just don't remember anything. So I record everything that I do. Whenever I have an important conversation or anything like that, I write notes. If I'm in the car and it happens, I don't have time to write notes. I tell whoever I'm speaking with, I'm like, yo, send me an email with a quick summary of what we talked about to hold me accountable. You know, got like something on my lip. Call me to hold me accountable for that. And my team knows that. They appreciate that about me. So like, you can't call me a liar for something. If I forgot something, I'll tell you, like, I forgot it. I'll take responsibility for that. But for everything else, like, I have receipts for everything I do. So if anybody wants to call me a liar on anything I do, come at me. I got receipts on everything. Like, I do everything electronically. I take like plenty damn notes. Call me Black James Comey. I got notes. I got memos. But like straight up, like, we have to do that, and we have to become more accountable. And we don't have time for these distractions, man. I appreciate what y'all are doing on the East Coast. And that's what Ebony, the first summit was all about. And that's what the next one's going to be about too, in August 15th, is all about like bringing these thought leaders, bringing our allies, bringing these sources of information, sources of capital, like all that together, so we can have real conversations and we can move forward towards this money, right? Like, this is, what was it, like $57 billion opportunity, and that's if it's not legalized by the year 2025. Like, if you lump in cannabis with the overall quote unquote wellness industry, which is $4.5 trillion with a T right now, that is an opportunity beyond all opportunities. Like, everything around us can be built by hemp. You know, the medical industry, you saw Colorado just gave out the first R&D license 2 weeks ago. That's where everything is going. The medical cannabis, how many hundreds of billions of dollars are poured into COVID-19 vaccines, vaccine attempts, like immediately. Like, that's the kind of money that's going to be poured into cannabis in the next, let's see.
That's a wish.
Yeah. She's strong, man. She's strong. Look at that, man. She's strong. Tell you what. Look at his feet too. Like, you can't see him. She got little booties on, but she has giant feet. I got a little athlete right here.
That's your first one?
Yeah, it's our first one, man. It's our first pandemic baby.
Congratulations.
Yeah, crazy story about when she was born. We didn't think that we were going to have a hospital bed, so we dropped money on a birthing center that we didn't really have. I was scared to death, man. Like, this is both of our first kid, and our parents couldn't come out and help with anything. Sisters, siblings, like, they all have kids. They couldn't help us out, and we had an emergency. I had to go to the emergency room, and the only people that really help with that, because I'm fake being strong the whole damn time. Like, oh, it's gonna be all right, baby. We got this. Like, I was scared to death, and people who reached out, like, they were the OGs, man. Like, and so that's my Dope Dads initiative is all about too. I launched that on Sunday. I was supposed to launch it last weekend, but yeah, and I was supposed to be all about that this Sunday. But go figure, I'm beating off excuse me, fighting off, I should say, like, fighting off like all these allegations and shit. And but yeah, like, that's what I do. I do positive stuff. I do a bunch of positive stuff, bring people together. That's my superpower, is the fact that, number one, I am not money driven. I'm money motivated. Don't get me wrong. I'm money motivated, but I'm not money driven. Mm-hmm. And my superpower is, because of my crazy past and my crazy, like, from professional athletes, me almost getting to the league, like me almost getting there, to cannabis, to corporate finance. Like, I have a weird, alchemy that puts the makeup of Rico Lamitte together, and I'm able to bring people from all three of those worlds together. And this is the first time, thanks to this pandemic, this is the first time I'm actually able to use all of that for good. Right? Like, 90% of the people that are in my Rolodex, I can't use for my business. Like, why am I holding on to them? Mm-hmm. If I got great people on the other side of the country, got great people on the other side of the globe now, that could use those, why don't I connect these people? Why don't we make this thing as strong as we can? Why don't we make this alliance as strong as we can? Well, and just connect folks and move forward.
And right? I think that, like, at a certain point, when you put a lot of your energy and focus into positivity and growth, what you do is you build something that the right people want to be a part of anyway. And so, right. I don't know. I think that's, so somebody in the audience was asking, and actually, I don't know that we know the answer to this. So somebody was asking for us to clarify the tie between normal and mass can. I think there, at least out here, there's questions as to if whether MassCan still has an official affiliation with normal or not, and I think that they do, because it sounds
it's like in all the things. It's in
National responded to you about it, right? Like,
and it's in all they. I mean,
it's on their website. That's all I can say. Like, the first time I heard about MassCan was last Thursday. Yeah. Period. Yeah. That's the first time I heard about MassCan, when you told me on last Thursday.
Yeah.
And then I went down that rabbit hole, and I was like, holy shit. Like, and I gave this to the leaders, like when you're on that final drive of the game, you put the ball in the hands of your quarterback, and you expect him as a leader to drive down and to win. You put that in Tom Brady or Cam Newton. We can talk about that. You put that in Cam Newton's hand, and you expect him to have that winning drive to get you all into the end zone. That's what I did. I put it in the hands of our leadership, and I wanted them to get us in the end zone, hopefully to stop that rally from happening. And if we can't stop it, to make sure that our name is cleared. It is not part of what's going on with these people. But they didn't. And now you got me, like Bruce Margolin, our leader, one of my heroes in the industry that I know he's not racist. He's helped me out. He's helped like numerous people out, like on several levels. That's another conversation. But he's getting attacked because we didn't get in an end zone, right? Like, we had the chance to go for that drive easy, and we didn't do that. And so now we're back on the field playing defense, and it is what it is. But like, certain things weren't put in place. I didn't know who MassCan was. And then I go down the rabbit hole because I'm starting to question our leadership. And like, goddamn, man, this dude was, I won't even say his name. I don't want to give power to people, but go ahead and look up Masscan if y'all are listening right now. Go on, better yet, go on Twitter. How about that? Go on Twitter and look up Masscan normal, whatever. And you'll see what the hell is going on. That's what Mr. Dube, right? Is that how you pronounce your last name? Dube?
So yeah, my grandfather says Dube, but actually everyone says Dube. So it's weird that my real last name is sort of sounds like my cannabis club name, you know?
Dube?
Yeah, like it sounds like my fake cannabis name is Dube, you know? So everyone says it's Dube, I guess.
No, I love it. No, you hit me with that, and I did the same thing. I went down that rabbit hole, and I found out, I was like, this is true. Like, dude was... he found out like the Boston Globe was doing like an expose on him in the straight rights parade last year, and he resigned, and then they vote this dude right back in. Like, what is it? So like him crazy, and another guy on him and another guy on their team on the board of directors, like straight up white nationalists, straight up like neo-Nazis and stuff. And I'm like, how is this happening? And that's what. When I forwarded that link to the Boston Globe's like piece on him, everybody's like, "Oh, that's 2019." I said, "Yeah, that's when he resigned, and then they voted him right back in, right?" And then like Michael Crawford. So, Doobie, when you sent me that first one, it was like a screenshot of Mike Crawford's of his. Facebook page. I didn't know him or anything, and so it just wasn't sitting right with me. On Saturday night, I reached out to Mike, and he told me like even more shit, and he gave me more receipts, and I'm like, what is really going on here? What is really going? Why am I tying myself to this? And then yesterday, I have other business meetings and all this stuff. Like, and that's when I start getting calls from the organization, like trying to talk to me. Now I'm like, we have 5 days to talk about this all weekend. Like, oh yeah, I was on vacation. I wasn't near a computer. You were near a computer.
That just doesn't make any sense. I feel like if I was part of a company or if I owned a company that had smaller companies around it, and immediately one of these smaller companies have ties to white nationalists, I'm gonna be like, yo, what? Let me shut down the whole entire section until we get this figured out. Like, it's not oh man, that's some silly stuff. Maybe we should just look into it more. No, absolutely not. It should be shut down and then looked into it.
Yes.
Anything.
Yes. Shut everything down right now, because as a activist, you consider yourself an activist,
especially when he was there, especially when he was there and then left and came back. That's even like that.
Yes.
That right there is letting you know. I don't know how much more you can say that somebody's defending somebody that if they get released and then brought back, clearly they had some type of benefit to somebody there.
And so, by the way, Rico, what I will tell everyone, because there's actually some Masscan board members that are watching right now. They're watching us right now, right? So what I will say is that, just as full disclosure, the things that I forwarded to you were public statements by other people that I shared with you, and I said, hey, by the way, like I saw on your thing, we were talking with you because I knew you as Rico, the founder and CEO of the Suave Life, not Rico LA Normal. And when I happened I saw all of a sudden, I'm like, oh shoot, you're like part of LA Normal. I'm like, oh yo, dude, by the way, I'm thinking like, yo, did you hear about this? Look, because it's in like Facebook racism cannabis groups, and it's in the Boston Globe, and it's like people are tweeting about it, and it's all this stuff. I'm like, oh, did you hear about this?
It's on Twitter,
I was just like more like, yo, dude, did you hear about this craziness going on? And you were like, what is going on? So Rico, you don't even know you're like tip of the iceberg. So like, just so that people understand, like your outrage your outrage at what is going on is literally that your chapter is soft on the fact that, and that National is soft on the fact that Masscan is run by, is like
associated with.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Guilty by association. Like exactly.
That is, and just so that people out there, because you know, people think that I'm like really hard on this stuff.
It's not being hard. You're doing what's supposed to happen. That's
People
what
are dying.
That's what people don't get. People are saying like, yo, like you're going too hard on me. You're like outing them too much. What? So what you're saying is we should be quiet about it and then let it continue and spread like a cancer is what you're saying. Not attack it head on and call them out and continue to call them out until something changes. You want us to just be like, hey, we called you out. All right, that's it. We're just going to call you out one time and then we're not going to do it anymore. No, that's not how this works. We call you out until it changes. We continue to call you out until it changes. And if it doesn't changes, you just pressure does two things. It make diamond and bust pipes. And I don't think mass cannon is gonna be a diamond for two. They're not gonna be a diamond. It's just not gonna happen. So something's gonna bust. Like and we're gonna continue to pressure.
And yeah, this is the thing, like I hope they as an organization, I'd never heard of them as an organization, you know, until you sent me that information. And I sent that up. I rung that up the flagpole because I got other priorities right now. And I'm not indicting an organization. I'm not indicting, I'm not calling out like people that I don't know. All of this was public information. Like I didn't go like, I'm not no investigative journalist or anything like that. I'm just like looking stuff up publicly. And this ain't like some 4chan thread. This ain't Reddit or nothing. This is the Boston Globe.
Man, that's crazy. The Boston Globe.
and that's the thing that I don't get about my response that I received, like from Normal National. Like, we don't support like the Freedom Fair or whatever. I don't even know what the name of it is. Like
the Boston Freedom Rally.
We don't receive any money from that. I was like, I never brought up the Boston Freedom Rally in my question to you.
Right, and just so people understand, the response you got from National was basically like, hey, by the way, like we don't even get any money for, like, I know you're saying like it's like this whole racist thing, but like we don't even get any money from the Boston Freedom Rally. So we're, you know, that was their answer, is like, hey, we're not monetarily tied to it. We're not benefiting directly from it. So like what should we care? What should we care if they're run by white nationalists, you know, or that there's these ties, or that there's like
and they're literally using your name.
The whole organization is going to like reelect this guy back into the thing, and then double down and keep supporting him, and like all of it, like, and then triple down, you know, and like
but the crazy thing about that is I didn't say anything in that email to them about the Boston Freedom Rally. I asked them to answer two questions, like straight up. I asked them, said, what is Normal National's response? And what is our, do we have a statement on this? And what is our stance and what is our response? The second question was, if said allegations are true from these people over there, like, and we know that that National knew that this guy was a white nationalist, why is he among our ranks? Why is this a thing? He didn't answer that. This is what I'm getting at, man. He didn't answer that. He brought up something that I didn't even ask about. And this is what I'm talking about, man. Like, if you're an ally, like hit me with everything. You should be, you should have called me immediately when you got wind of that. It's like, oh, where are they at? Let me get these guys off our organization. Like, that didn't happen. Like, I'm not an investigative journalist. I don't have time to be like down this going down like this rabbit hole anymore. I need to focus on my people.
For sure. And Rico, the one
shit.
one thing I'll tell you, Rico, is that when I looked up like normal, like when I just Googled normal, right? And the Wikipedia thing came up, it was like that Normal National, its roots are libertarian, and that's also, Sampson also claims to be libertarian also. So it just sort of felt like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, no wonder like National doesn't really care, is because like they're all at the same parties. And I'm not saying anyone is a white national, but what I am saying is like they're probably all at the same parties, and like I would at least assume that like that would explain some softness on that, is that like unfortunately we have like a bunch of people that like love the business side of it so much that like they're just willing to.
There's nothing wrong, right? And so, before I get too political over here, before I get too political on the shit, like I personally don't believe in I don't believe in. Before I get political, let's get political. Like I personally don't believe or adhere to any political party.
Well,
I believe like it's all a soccer game, right? Like it's like a bunch of back and forth. The crowd gets all hyped up, and you might have 1 or 2 points scored from each side, right? Like who really wins from that shit? Like I'm about like putting forward action on initiatives, and that's it. You look at the Democratic Party. Was it pre-Nixon was racist as fuck. Like everything was reversed. Like after all that's going on right now, it could be reversed again. Like I don't even pay attention to parties, but yes, like that could be a symptom of what's going on there. But I believe she's falling asleep. I believe what I do believe is if you have any kind of moral compass, if you have any kind of a righteousness in yourself and your body and your soul, whatever, do the right thing. You know how white supremacy starts off. You know, if you sow the seeds of hate, which these individuals are doing, they're gonna grow into a garden of hate, a garden of hatred, and a garden of violence. Straight up, I alerted the gardener. I alerted the gardener on Thursday about the snakes in the grass. Mm-hmm. They let these motherfuckers get to the house.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
And that's how I feel about these people. Like Democrats got some bad people in their ranks. Republicans got a lot of bad people in their ranks. And you know how they get to more prominent and more powerful positions? By not calling them out right when you start to see the symptoms. Period. You start to see these symptoms, you start to see these people are evil. You don't turn the blind eye. That turns to murder. Period. Like, oh yeah, this website is silly. It doesn't make any sense. Like, no, like this website is homophobic. This website is racist. This website is glorifying violence against people of color, against gay people, against women. Like, stomp that shit out. Period. We're at a pivotal moment in history right now. We all have the opportunity to move humanity forward. And if you're going to talk that talk, be prepared to walk that walk. Period. Mm-hmm. Like there's a lot of white folks that want to say, oh, well, Dr. Martin Luther King. Like, Dr. Martin Luther King was a radical in their eyes. Right. He was a radical, and he was killed. Mm-hmm. Straight up. Mm-hmm. Exactly. He was about nonviolence, and he was killed. And so for you to give me some bullshit like, oh, Dr. Martin Luther King did, like, no. Like, you know what Dr. Martin Luther King, he talked about this. He talked about the moderate white. The moderate white. That's my favorite Dr. Martin Luther King. Dude, come here. Come. That's my favorite Dr. Martin Luther King quote, is about the moderate whites and about how they were the biggest threat. And that's the truth. Like, these people who, and I had a very, very tough conversation. Come here, dude. Like, my dog wants to go out on the balcony. I had a very tough conversation with some of my conservative white friends. Dude, hey, sorry guys. Yeah, I had a very tough conversation with some of my white friends that are conservatives too, about their support of the person that's in office right now, like the person that's the head of this country right now. I'm from a place called Fluvanna County, Virginia. It's about 35 minutes outside of Charlottesville. When the Unite the Right rally went down, not only did it hit home for me, the dude that organized it, Jason Kessler, I went to high school with that dude. Straight up. For real? I went to high school with him. And he was a nothing before the internet started popping. Like, I graduated in 2000, 2001, and he was just a nothing. He's like a little punk ass white kid. And you know what? The internet gave him all this damn power. Next thing you know, he's with Richard Spencer, and this girl, Heather Heyer, gets killed in Charlottesville. Right? Back in the day with this punk ass white kid, you might have said some, I don't even remember, you might have said some racist shit like back in the day, but people don't say shit to them. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Like, he gains a following. And then there's another guy from South Dakota. There's another guy from, I don't know, wherever in the world. And now you have a coalition of hateful assholes out there killing people. And that's what happens when you don't stomp shit out when you see it. And we need to stop doing that. period. So like when that happened, when Charlottesville went down, I told some of my best friends, like straight up, like before that moment, I was like, oh, you know, like who cares if Trump's in office? Like Trump, this is my exact statements. If anybody want to look shit up on me, like my exact statements before Charlottesville were, yo, Trump is going to rip the Band-Aid off of America. Hillary Clinton was just going to peel that shit off real slow. They're both terrible people. But when that happened, like, nah, man, like get these fools out. Like right now, that's not what being American is all about. That's not what freedom is all about. This is straight up racism. Straight up racism. And it wasn't just the fact that was in my hometown and it's somebody that I knew personally. It's the fact that people are getting killed. Period. People are getting killed. And you see like all this stuff coming out like on him, like left and right. Oh, but like, no, there's no buts about it. This is what's happening. And while we're sleeping, Russia and China have been eating our lunch. Like straight up, they've taken over the whole damn world. And while we're worried about Donald Trump and his racist antics over here. And this is what happens when you put people in power who are a distraction. They take you away from what's important. And this is why we can't allow distractions to take us away from what's important. So if you're going to be an ally, you want to claim to be an ally, walk the talk. That is it. Walk the talk. If not, money or the microphone. That's it. March with me or support my march monetarily or by broadcasting it.
Yep.
And that's it.
Rico, you know, I realized when we first got on with you that you were like, I'm like, how you doing? You're like, I'm exhausted. And I replied something like, yeah, like lately it's been really exhausting. And what I realized is that my choice of words was actually like reflective of like how a lot of white people end up feeling about this. And it's that like, so for instance, and I'm just going to give you an example. It's like, I saw other white people in our Massachusetts cannabis industry coming out strong. And then after a week or two, the sort of like backlash they got and the abuse they were getting caused them to want to walk out of the room, and they did, right? And so what I realized is that even by me saying like, oh yeah, Rico, it's really been exhausting lately, in my mind, like it's, yeah, for me, it's been exhausting lately. Like and the thing is that like I can walk out of the room anytime that I want. And like you and Eric, you guys can't walk out of that room. And like, even when you're feeling exhausted, like if all of us white people are like, man, this is so tiring. I wish like, how do we just get this to like, can you just imagine how frustrating it must be for black people who, you know,
that's our whole life. That's our whole life. Right. And that was my biggest complaint about this weekend, because like people have an excuse. Oh, I was doing this. I don't have the luxury of doing something else.
Bro, the whole world knows what's going on right now, and everything is coming. So it's like there's no, I was busy. You was busy doing what? Sitting in the house during quarantine, looking at Black Lives Matter protests, because that's what's basically posted everywhere, and that's how it should be, because Black Lives Matter. And it's just people out there that don't get it. So.
Right, and like that's the thing, man. Like, do your homework. Like we don't have time to teach that lesson anymore. We've been teaching that lesson our whole lives, and if in the great awakening that's happening right now, like there's no excuses. Like just like you said, Mike. Like yes, people are getting tired. We were expecting that. We were expecting folks to get tired. We were expecting folks to be like, "Oh man, this is you know, like how much do we have to do?"
It's
like
too much. It started like, "Yo, this is lasting too long." It's the protests, and they're like, and then those are the people that you got to wonder about. Like, so you saying that we should stop talking about it so they can just go right back to normal? Is what you're saying? Because specifically you a person who's not affected by it is tired of hearing it, that we should stop talking about it. Just think about the people who are affected by it that's tired of talking about it forever. Not just these last 2 months, just forever. So I don't know. This is
life,
man,
for us. And the way I see it right now is like yes, like I think like the next week or two, you're gonna see who's really bad and who's not. We're at that 5 week mark, a 5 week mark since George Floyd was killed, and you're starting to see people just not saying anything about it anymore. Like, awesome. Like, so what have people done? What measures have we put in place to make sure this doesn't happen going forward? And that's one thing that took on with Canna Gather is like all of our programming. We talked about racism, both overtly and systemic. We talked about like how we can do better to support Black and Brown communities and getting them the opportunities in the cannabis industry, or at least expose those opportunities on a broader scale. We talk about that stuff. Me personally, that was the Ebony project that I put together. Like, yo, this is an absolute economic opportunity for us. There's an agriculturally based economy that is emerging, and we have less than 5% ownership in this. This is a problem. This is an emergency. Let's talk about this. And after we talk about it, let's act. And we're in the act phase right now. And then also, like me personally, I've been getting out on the whole COVID-19 thing. Is like, it is a novel virus, and what people don't understand about novel virus, and this is where a lot of folks in the gay community, a lot of folks have been affected by AIDS and everything. They understand, like, there's a bunch of stuff that's going to come out right now. These are not conspiracies or conspiracy theories. Like, this is people trying to get information out, but there's going to be a lot of missteps. Like, people don't know exactly what it is. They don't know exactly how to stop it, like all that stuff. Like, what does it take, like 25 years for them to actually like pin down and get AIDS or HIV to a point where it's controllable? Like, we could have stopped that a long time ago. This is what happens when you put bad leadership in place. Like, we don't stop stuff on its way in. And guess what? We're in the middle of a pandemic. Guess what? A lot of people are dying. Was it like 130,000 people died, like close to that right now? Like, we are where we are because we, and I don't say them, I say we put Donald Trump in office.
Yeah, apparently he knew about it early and decided to ignore it. Like, he was like, oh, it's not that big of a deal.
And by the way, your figure of like the 130,000, I saw something this morning that said that worldwide we're at 500,000, which means that the U.S. accounts for like more than 1/5 of the deaths in the world around this virus.
And
which
Europe
is
shut
crazy.
down flights. Europe shut down flights to there. They said that Americans can't travel there because
the rest of the world is quarantining us from them.
Yeah.
Most of us aren't well traveled enough to like know or care about that, but like the rest of the world is like they're all set with us like coming around.
We loved your money, but now it ain't even worth it.
What was Donald Trump saying? Like the China ban? What is this? The Trump ban? The Patriot ban? Is that what everybody else is calling it?
Well,
we are quarantined.
Yeah, that was right after he called it the Kung flu.
Right,
And by the way, that's our president. Like, and I'm sorry. Like, and I get it. Like, people are gonna make jokes. People are gonna do whatever.
We're not. We're just saying facts.
But not when you're like, talking to the world. You
right. shouldn't
be like setting an example. Like,
this
I shouldn't be
like
all
stuff
of us.
We're making up.
We should all be held to like a higher standard. You know what I'm saying? We all.
And this is not stuff we're making up. I mean, like, they're like people are gonna get on here and be like, oh, you're bashing the press. We're not bashing anything. We're simply repeating what he said and then giving our opinion on it because as a president, I just don't think you should be saying that. Just if you're going to represent a bunch of people, I just don't think you should be saying.
Just don't be racist. That's all. Just don't be racist.
Yes. Exactly. I think he put that argument to bed this weekend when he retweeted that white power shit. Like,
that was crazy.
He retweeted. It was up for 3 hours. like for 3 hours on this thing.
Like, my man's just was like, yo, I'm just do it. Like, just send it.
Twitter are going to be his Watergate tapes, right? Like,
yes, no, like
that's all people are going to remember him for is Twitter.
But yeah, like history history doesn't repeat itself, but it sure does echo, right? And I'm a big nerd, regardless. I'm a big data guy. I look at numbers, and that's why I'm a big picture guy. That's why I'm kind of glad that I'm quarantined with my daughter right now, because I can like be behind the scenes in my cockpit here and just look at everything from a bird's eye view. I'm a big fan of Malcolm Gladwell, Revisionist History, his podcast, and he had if you have a chance, like look it up, the Hug Heard Around the World. Right. And it was Sammy Davis Jr. and the way that he helped Richard Nixon get reelected in a landslide for a second term. And I couldn't help but see that this is Kanye West. Like Sammy Davis Jr. is Kanye West. The way the thing went down, like where he's from, like this is crazy the way shit's going down.
And it's really strange that Kanye West is still endorsing him. Like I don't.
Right, and I heard this weekend, like one of my homeboys, we're in so a bunch of my homeboys went to UVA, and back in Charlottesville, where I'm from. So whenever like I'd be home on breaks and everything, we became good friends. We've remained friends for like 20 years, and we're still in a big group chat. We talk shit all the time to each other. And one of my homeboys, Yannick, what up, Yannick? No, he's watching this right now. He shot this out to me about Kanye West saying this weekend that, the whole thing was a scam. He was scamming Donald Trump to so he can get like people released from prison, like all this other stuff. I'm like, come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Hey, that's like, a big risk without telling people involved.
You don't always have to get your lips dirty when you're trying to influence people to do something for you.
Come on, bro. Like
you gotta tell people you're doing that.
Yeah, we gotta go. He says what he says. He does what he does. And look, like I'm not a judge of people, but I sure do talk shit. And this is where the rubber meets the road is delineating those two. And you're judging people, like I don't believe, like me and you, that's in God's hands and whatever judiciary system that we put in place, right? That's what judgment is. I will talk shit about you, like through and through, and I will continue to, until you're on the right side of whatever's going on right now. And what I was telling a lot of people like last weekend for the Ebony Summit is I invite all voices, like Black, white, brown, Asian, like anywhere in between. And especially in the Black community, we are such a dynamic people. Like we come in all shapes, sizes, shades, different mindsets. And there's nothing wrong with being a conservative. What I have issues with is the mascots. There's
like those two comedian twin brothers.
That and speaking logic, but when you give no credence to science, data, to actual facts, and you're just saying stuff that's gaslighting people, man, we don't need that right now. That's how people are dying right now. And so like, I don't want to give her, I don't like giving people like power by saying their names, but there's a certain woman in the, you guys know who I'm talking about, a certain woman who's like says stuff loudly for a couple of hints, like Dave Chappelle called her out on his special. And like, we don't need people like that. The easiest job in the world right now, the easiest come up, take this gem, everybody's Black out there, become a Black Republican, say some wild shit. And you know what? Like, it doesn't matter how crazy the shit is you say. It doesn't matter how unfounded the stuff that you say is. They're going to give you a bunch of highlights. They're going to put you on such the biggest pedestal. And just remember that you have given up your soul for that. And you have sold out your people for that, for becoming you're not even a puppet. You are a mascot. Like, oh, but this person said this. Like, what is your response to that? I was like, I don't want to have a response to that because that's just distracting from from what we really need to talk about. What we really need to talk about is the fact that we're in the information age, and yet you're putting up a bunch of BS on whatever website when you can just go one tab over and you can Google it to find out if that really happened. Let's talk about that, right? Like, why are we even giving people? Like, Donald Trump is president because America loves a bunch of drama. We love that. We love that drama, and we're so not just xenophobic. We're just so narcissistic as a nation, and I truly believe like Obama is he's the president that America wanted, and Donald Trump is the president that America deserved. Like we have never apologized for Native American genocide. We've never apologized for slavery. We just keep on going forward. Keep on going forward. Keep on going forward. Like, that's just coming back to haunt us, like right now. And you can do one thing or the other about it. You can help right these wrongs and try to give some kind of credence to folks for what has happened on this land over all those years, or you can just try to go forward, see how that happens for you, see how that works out. Yeah. And like me, like my priorities are different. I got a little baby girl, as you see now, and I want to make sure that she's able to grow up in a world where she's not afraid to walk across the street. And it's a real conversation I was having like with my conservative friends back home. Out of the respect for them, I won't say their name, but one of them was like my closest friend in life. And I told him, I was like, we both got kids now, man. And the difference is like your kids are white and my kids are black. And when I walk down the street, and like, this is a funny thing, because I joke around a lot. I like to troll, and you'll see like little Easter eggs on stuff, like Big Africa, great again. Like I do stuff like that. But when I walk across the street and I see a red "Make America Great Again" hat, you know, all of these manifestos and everything by these mass shootings and stuff, like they all cite Donald Trump. like all of them are citing Donald Trump. Department of Homeland Security had a hearing with the person I was just talking about a second ago, September of last year, screaming at the top of their lungs, the biggest threat to America is white supremacy. They've already infiltrated our military, infiltrated our law enforcement, infiltrated our education and public utilities, like all this stuff. Democrats, they were focused on impeachment. Mm-hmm. That worked out great, right? Right. And the Republicans, like they're just getting loud saying, oh, there's a distraction, blah, 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 blah. Nobody really gave it any credence. CIA and FBI jumped on the same bandwagon saying the same thing. And we don't pay attention to that. Like straight up, like this is going to be our undoing. If we have a leader that is not willing to call out the bad actors, this is on a macro level and on a micro level. Macro level, you can call it Donald Trump. Micro level, whatever organization you are a part of, your workplace, whatever it is, like that is the micro level. Like if your leader is not willing to point out the problems that can be at some point, whether it's 2 minutes from now or whether it's 2 years from now, be detrimental to the entire fabric of your organization, that's a bad leader. Get him out. It's as simple as that. Like we are at such a pivotal point in history that you got to be part of the change that's good. I just can't rock with people who want to be in the same room where history was made. Why not be the person making history? Why not be the person creating that action? Like that is what's dope to me. Like some of the greatest things in history have probably occurred with no witnesses at all. Be that person. Like don't be the person that's there to broadcast it. Be the person that is there making the change. And there's enough video cameras all over the world right now. Somebody will catch what you're doing. Just don't get caught up doing the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's watching.
Yep. Well, Rico, thanks for coming on today. We actually, I'll speak for Eric. Like, I think we'd love to have you back on soon whenever you're ready to.
Whenever y'all want, man. Stuff. Whenever y'all want, I'm always down for that, man. Like,
yo, your daughter. We watched your daughter go from being like you
alert to
burping to just being like,
she was like every time you moved, she was staying still. Then you moved her, she was like, "Hey, I'm up, I'm good." She was like, "No, I'm good."
She's a little activist baby. She's a little activist baby. You look back on my timeline a little bit, you'll see her with the Black Lives Matter shirt on. She got a little fist up. Like nice. That was not staged at all. The Black Lives Matter shirt was that was staged, but like the fist up that was not staged at all. It was hilarious. I was like, I gotta get this picture. Nice. So yeah, she's absorbing this all this information, and she's gonna be a thought leader, and she's gonna be an activist herself. And I'm not gonna push it on her, but it's in her DNA. Yeah, both her mother and her father. So
heck yeah,
I'm proud of that. I'm proud to know you guys, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, anytime you want me on, I'm always down, and I'm gonna shoot you guys like information like on my initiatives and all my stuff that I got going on right now. It's not that much, but yeah, if you can get that out to people on the East Coast, love. That's what it is. We don't have time to waste, and I'm all about just making connections. Connect my people. If you guys need anything, please reach out to me. On the West Coast, I got you guys too, man.
And definitely, Enrico, like while we were doing the show, I was getting messages from like pseudo-famous white people being like, hey, as long as you're taking that stance that you're taking, I'm all set with working with you. Good luck in the future. So I'll definitely be sharing I think it's really interesting in the cannabis in the cannabis industry. This is like just during the show, by the way. This is just while we're live.
They was watching. They was like, "Oh
no!" But it's also and it's unfortunate, and it on one hand it like hurts my heart, but on the other hand, I'm gonna take your advice because really when you start focusing on what is inevitable to happen here, which is like when people take moral stances, like they just have different opinions. They have different morals and different opinions on stuff, right? And so once that sort of, for a long time, I guess a lot of white people were enjoying sort of the, like, hey, let's not fuss and feud and let's just sort of have fun. And
well, when you're not affected by it, you're not thinking about it.
So anyway,
right. This is not. Yeah, this is not for play. This is life.
Like this is literally for the future generation growing up.
For us, my life is threatened when I get pulled over by a cop.
Mm-hmm. Every time.
My life, like I have to think about things that I shouldn't have to think about.
Every time.
And that's the reality. That is the reality that we face as Black folks right now. So
yep. Yeah, and
until we're willing to take the steps to change that stuff, like what's the point of me letting up? Like this is what I care about. I want to care about her not growing up into the world that we had to grow up in.
Exactly.
That is my number one focus, and I will do everything in my power to make sure that change occurs.
Well, and I think if we can all figure out how to surround ourselves with the right people, then it doesn't mean just us, but also like our family, our kids, the people we love are now getting a greater exposure to good than bad, right? And so the more we can be conscious about who we surround ourselves with and make sure we got good people. We got people that are fans of us and we're fans of them and mm-hmm. that things are aligned, right? And this way the energy that's getting created is positive momentum and not getting mired down in,
Right. And shout out to whoever said that too, on the wall, oh, straight up, you realize you're just incriminating yourself. That's kind of stuff. That's kind of stuff that I'm talking about, man. That's exactly the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. I want that smoke. I want that smoke. Like straight up. Like I said earlier, yes, I'm money motivated, but I'm not money driven.
Yeah.
period. I've lived that life. It was the worst 10 years of my life was when I was in corporate finance and I was being somebody who I was not. I was pretending to be somebody who I'm not. And I got a tumor from that, from the stress. I was obese, bad, I had adult acne. Me and my wife, our marriage was on the rocks because I was just being something that wasn't part of my internal fabric. It wasn't part of me, my soul, my heart. And I'm free from that. Straight up, I am free from that, and I'm so happy that I didn't die. Right? I don't mess around. I don't mince words. I don't say that. Oh, I beat cancer. I didn't beat cancer. I had a benign tumor. I felt like I was given a second chance to do the right thing. And I have been doing that for the last 4 years. And now is the time, finally I get my chance to show everybody, this is me, period. I'm going to be walking that talk. And I'd rather walk first and talk about it afterwards. And for everybody out there, oh yeah, I'm not going to do business with you. Oh, good, fine, awesome. Put your name on the list, put that out in public. Please do, because you are on the wrong side of history. You are those white people that are in the diner punching those black folks in the back of the head. That is you. Mm-hmm. Congratulations, you played yourself. Straight up.
It's just so strange, man. And even I don't know, it's so many people I've taken pictures with and been nice to that just. I'm yo, you should have knew where I stand. You should have knew right when you was taking that picture with me that I was taking a knee. Right there on the sideline. It's not.
Yes. Quick question for you. Do you think that Roger Goodell is eventually going to say we were wrong about Colin Kaepernick? I love the cryptic response that he had.
Let's see how many of them players that made that video will sacrifice playing, because that's right. Ultimately what's the next step. I mean, they came out with the video, forced him to say what he said, so now the next step is get Colin his job back. Well, if you don't get his job back, what actions are y'all going to take? Are y'all going to sacrifice y'all careers? Are y'all going to miss the season?
Right.
Because that's ultimately what can really probably get him his job back. Think about if all the quarterbacks say, look, I don't want to play no more. Now there's no quarterbacks to sign. That's good. That's better than Kaepernick. Right. So you take out all the quarterbacks that's better than Kaepernick. And then now they say, look, I'm not playing until Kaepernick gets a job. Now Kaepernick is the only available quarterback. Somebody gonna pick him up. If you want the season to continue, I'm just saying, that's just what I believe. But I don't think that's what's gonna happen. But if that was to happen, I feel like that would be the result. All the good quarterbacks would say, hey, I'm done for the season. You gonna have to find a backup that's gonna hold tough. And then bam, they yo, we gotta sign Kaepernick. Now we have no choice. Now if they choose not to and they still continue to sign bums, then you know where they stand on it still. And everything they said before that was BS. But that's just how it is. You gotta give companies ultimatums. You gotta give companies ultimatums. Is the people more important than the company?
Right, you're spot on, brother. And that's she waking up now. We'll see. If they actually, when it comes down to it, when it comes the time to it, if they actually walk that talk.
Because that video was good. I liked it. I'm okay, we got Patrick Mahomes, OBJ, we got the running back from the Saints. That's a solid group right there that's saying something. Now,
right.
What's next from here? Do we now that Roger Goodell was hey, we was wrong. But we still ain't got to sign Kaepernick. That's basically what Goodell said right there. Was hey, we was wrong, yes, but we still not going to sign Kaepernick. So now it comes to where the season is about to start and it's hey, Kaepernick took a knee for George Floyd and then George Floyd still got killed. And then y'all made a statement on George Floyd saying, hey, we recognize George Floyd got killed and it was wrong. Well, that means Kaepernick should have never lost his job because of it, because basically that's what he was doing, correct? He was taking a knee to protest.
Yes.
So now they come out with a statement saying, hey, George Floyd, our death was terrible. That shouldn't have happened to him. Oh, that's crazy, because it wouldn't have happened to him if you would have stood behind Kaepernick when he first took the knee. And you was like, hey, the NFL, we support Kaepernick and taking the knee because that's his God-given right to do. And it's true. Like, police brutality is a thing. If they would have said that, maybe George Floyd wouldn't have happened. Not saying that that's the kind of influence that us athletes have, but using our platform is what is the only thing we have. Essentially, is to use our platform.
That's exactly, and that's what Mike was saying. He said, "You're putting a price on that, right?
Exactly.
You're putting a price on it. You're stopping just short of doing the complete right thing. Like there's no like degrees of rightness and wrongness. Like you're doing the right thing, you're doing the wrong thing. Yeah. Like straight up, like yeah, I think she's working on something right now. But yeah, you're doing the right. You're either on the right side or the wrong side of history. Like history, like right now, things can be a little bit of various shades of gray, right? But in the long run, you're on the right side or you're on the wrong side. Yeah. And if you know, and if you respect, like if you have, I choose my words carefully right now because this is involving something that I don't own. It's like everything else I'll speak like how I want to. But recently, somebody was saying like certain things about me that weren't true. Mm-hmm. And they put this statement out there into the ether, not thinking that I would get a hold of it. And they had the nerve to say Black Lives Matter at the beginning of this statement that they made. It was like totally false about me. Like, how dare you
say something about me?
Yes, how dare you like say Black Lives Matter? We need to do this. Like the reason why we're not doing this, like Rico's not doing his thing right here. Like, number one, you're white. Number two, like Black lives obviously don't matter when you're throwing me under the bus on a complete lie. And then number three, like I said, I don't remember shit. I got receipts. I have every receipt from this person calling me out on that stuff.
And in any case,
don't claim to be part of the solution when you ain't part of the solution. Like don't be like half-assed being like, oh yeah, Black Lives Matter. But like there's no buts.
Exactly. Look, if anybody say Black Lives Matter, but yo, like the conversation ended before you even said but. Once you I'm done. I logged out, my brother. I'm tapped. Like you win. This conversation is going nowhere. Like, because that's really what it is now. It's like we're done talking about it. Like it's been way too. Not like we're done talking about it, but we are done like trying to convince people who seem to still don't get it. Like it's like they're so just built around themselves and they're in such a small box that they like. And I read a meme that was like, yo, you was raised in a small town with no black people in it or less than 5, and then you go into the big world and say that nobody that's black is affected by racism. But it's funny you've never even had to witness it, let alone living it. Like,
but it's funny you say that like real quickly here, because so I was since this shit happened like last week, like I was really really pissed. I was really really pissed, and I was pissed because I felt like people didn't have my back, and so this was happening like on Sunday night too. Like I didn't sleep. I was like, I was mad. I was heated. I was like waiting for this response from them, and so what I did, like on LinkedIn, I get like a million. Like I don't know if y'all are on LinkedIn, but like over the last year, LinkedIn has turned in like all these people like out of the woodworks, like trying to like, oh, I see you do this. Like, will you like be my person? Like, everybody's like soliciting and everything. So I just started like responding to a bunch of these I usually don't respond to. And I was on there. I was like, thanks for reaching out, Gary. Thanks for reaching out, Gary. I'm glad you reached out to me and want me to buy your product, like buy your a team optimization product or whatever. Like, by the way, like what is your company doing to support Black lives? Like, the president just said he just retweeted white power. This is what we're dealing with. Like, what are you doing to help Black people get on the same economic footing? And I just like kept on like copying and pasting this shit like back and forth. And I'm gonna read this like verbatim. I'm not gonna say the gentleman's name. I'm gonna ask him if he can, if he'll allow me to put this out, because it's crazy you say that, Eric. Because so this guy, we'll just call him, I don't know, Christopher. Like that's a pseudonym. I'm gonna read this verbatim, so I don't even have to. Like I'm paraphrase here. So he reaches out to me. He says, "Rico, I am a blank. I'll just say that I'm a freelance copywriter in the personal development, self-help space, looking to connect with with others in the industry. I'm wondering if you are interested in connecting." And he hit me up again. This is like 3 weeks ago. Then he hit me up again like 2 weeks ago. "Rico, thank you for connecting. Hope your family is well during this time. Have a great week." And then I responded to him on Sunday, like I'm in my feelings and shit.
Oh, yeah,
I'm like,
got to.
Yeah, I'm like, right. "Hey, John, thanks for reaching out. Sorry I missed this one. I've been swamped with a ton of community building work over the last few weeks, as I'm sure you could imagine." Smiley face. Question: speaking of this time, it's been even harder for Black people in our businesses, both with us having 30% of the overall deaths attributable to COVID-19 as essential workers, and now being attacked undeniably by a president claiming he's not racist, but posting videos with supporters chanting white power. What are you doing to address systemic racism and assisting in leveling the economic playing field for Black businesses and organizations, specifically in this current environment of self-reflection and bridge building? Looking forward to hearing from you, brother. Much love. I just like copied and pasted like all this. Like it's a wait. This is a response. This is a response, and I'm gonna send this to you like redacted, unless he gives me like a permission to send this out. And I hope that he does, because you're gonna love this response. So, Rico, I live in rural South Dakota. I'm so far removed from what the news is talking about, and it is hard to explain to someone living where you live. Life is just plain different here. In the county I live in, there isn't one active case of coronavirus. Walking down the sidewalk in town, you wouldn't experience much diversity here either. It is pretty rural. 50s, like, really? And then like me being in my feelings, like I was gonna attack that immediately. I said, how are the 50s for Black people? Like, no, but I didn't. And I read it further, and he said, "That said, I've thought long and hard about," yeah, she's going through it right now. Like, "that said, I've thought long and hard about our nation's plight. I've watched TV and noticed the lack of diversity on the screen. The leading roles are nearly always white. Supporting roles are usually colored people." Pick a color, any color, but yeah, you've seen it too. "So what can I do? I've asked myself this. You're calling me out of the business here in Hicksville, USA. Here's what I can and would be more than willing to do. You give my contact info to a colored business owner." He's stuck in the 50s. I'm going to attack him for that. "To a colored business owner struggling to keep their business going or starting up a business. I'll do some copywriting for them free of charge, whether it be blog posts, social media posts, emails, or website content. I don't care. I will do what I can to help get or keep them their head above water during these trying times. Please make sure it is someone that is legitimately in business or starting a business. I'm just asking you to vet them a little. And if I can help you, I'll be willing to do that too. Just say the word. I have some free time in my schedule. Rico, you have a great week. Look forward to hearing from you. Here's my personal number and my personal email, not from work." That was dope. That was some dope shit. Like we need to coach up this guy like on what's going on in the world these days.
That's self-awareness that none of us are used to seeing in like rural America.
That's crazy. In South Dakota too, it's nothing out there.
Right. It's just me like spam replying like over and over like on Sunday night. I'm like, that was dope, and that's what you can do. That's like textbook of what you can do. Like that's how you can help people out. Like straight up, yeah, people are hurting. Black people are hurting more than everybody else.
Hey, you should definitely see if he live up to what he says and post that in the Black business group. And I'm sure he gonna have a lot of folks reach out to him. And
right. Right, and it will blow his business up too. And that's what people that are racist, they don't understand that when we help each other, when we call out this stuff, it helps everybody.
Exactly.
Everybody wins from that.
Exactly.
And so that's why we got to stomp out this stuff at the core. We got to help out people that are sagging in the economy and figure out, like, it's not the symptoms, it's the cause, right? Donald Trump is a symptom. He is a symptom of what's wrong with America, right? And we need to root out the cause and fix things at the core. And it's going to be a lot of pain. There's going to be a lot of mistakes made along the way. And that's okay. That's what progress is all about.
Exactly.
You can't have progress without the process. And we need to start that process immediately. And it starts with not saying the right things, but doing the right things.
Rico, we appreciate that you hung out with us for so long and that you shared your beautiful daughter with us. It was actually pretty kind of amazing to see the evolution of her being awake and sleeping and then getting back up and smiling again and stuff like. And that probably means that we've been going for a while. So
she's used to Zooms.
Yeah.
So because she's seen maybe in person maybe 7 people. Like, she was born in the pandemic, so like she's like real used to it. Like, she's like, say hi, say hi. She might wave to you. Say hi. She's not. She don't do it right now. She's 2.5 months.
But yeah, Daddy, I'm hungry.
So she is looking for where mommy at.
Yeah. So Rico, thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
We're gonna follow up with you off air, but we really appreciate you spending so much time with us, and we're definitely gonna have you back on soon. We appreciate you, who you are as a person, and like the things that you're striving to do, and the things that are important to you. Like we it's really nice to see, strong, personable, positive thinking Black dudes who like are really, really trying to like not just trying to help other people and not just feeling like they're in a place where like their only choice is to, is just to look out for themselves. And I think we're in a world right now where I think if more of us can just try to help each other, I think no matter who they are, I think
Yeah, appreciate it, brother. And I've been on the other side of the coin. Mm-hmm. I've been that selfish person. I've been that asshole. Like, it doesn't help anybody. That's all I gotta say about it. It doesn't help. Doesn't help anybody. And that's why I am the way that I am now. It's not about me. It's about us. Like, how awesome can we make? What kind of awesome stuff can we make collectively out of this bad situation that we've been handed? And that's just the way that my mind thinks. I'm very unorthodox, and I love the fact that about myself, because a lot of people can't figure me out. But like, it's all about connecting the dots, coming together, and finding out how can we all win, because there's always an angle for all of us. And you just screw yourself when you do things only for yourself. Mm-hmm. Right? So, man, appreciate you guys. Appreciate you having me on, man. Anytime you need me, man, holler at me. And I'll get you all my stuff too. So if you ever need anything out here, man, and Eric, you got folks out here in Compton, man, like holler at me. I love that. I'm in San Pedro. So okay. Like right there, where the ghetto meets the sea.
Yeah, I used to be hanging out on 107th and Fig all the time.
Figaro.
That's where my pops used to stay. So
that's what's up, man. We're doing some great stuff out here, Compton, South Central. Nice. I'm helping them out. Like, shout out to Cultivated Minds Innovation, my boy James Banks over there. Like Tommy Johnson, Originals Nation. We're doing stuff, man, and we got to have all of these boats rise with the tide, right? Like, and now's our chance to do that. So let's support these organizations, support these businesses, and call out the bad ones. Like, straight up, is a time that we don't need distractions. Like, these aren't good actors. Let's work with these people, because we have a whole slew of a great Black, brown, white, Asian. But we need to focus on like evening that right now. So let's focus on the Black ones and the brown ones. we have a whole slew of those in our network. And look at those. They've done the work that they needed to show that they're good businesses, they're good actors, and let's rock with them. And let's all find a way to work together and to benefit from each and every one of our collective efforts. So
definitely.
All right, brothers.
We appreciate you, man. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much,
man. Be safe.
Yeah, you too, man. You too. All right, and let me know what y'all hear about that mask can shit, man. I'm ready for that smoke.
We'll definitely update you.
All right, y'all.
Have a good day, man.
Yeah, you too.
Rico, that was awesome. That was a good show. Jordan was hoping that we were gonna ask Rico to sing with you, and it just didn't feel. It felt like yeah. It wasn't like it was because it was kind of a serious interview. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like a fun, lighthearted interview that we can end with.
Today was interesting. What y'all get out of that? Because I got a lot out of it. I just feel like the next 5 days, it's gonna be crucial. Just saying.
Are we out of raps?
Yeah.
What? Are we sure? Damn.
We out of raps.
I guess that's a wrap then. Oh no, I guess if it was a rap, then we wouldn't have this problem right now.
Oh Lord, I guess Mike is singing the end of the show today. Oh, you don't sing? Hey, that's so strange how Mike get everybody else to sing and make me sing, but he don't sing one time. Who would love to hear Mike sing?
I only sing when it's
when the tie is tight.
Sunset dance party. When the tie is tight.
Mike only sing when the tie is tight because you gotta pull it and choke it. You know what I'm talking about?
Making me feel like I need to loosen a little bit.
Exactly. See, that's what I was saying. Y'all was gonna have him singing like a canary. Look, everybody said they want to hear Mike sing. That's what I like. That's what I'm talking about. Go ahead, kick it to us then. I'm gonna do the
Jordan
button.
says he has some papers. We need blunt wraps. I have papers right here. I don't want papers. Papers aren't as good as blunts. We need a blunt sponsor. Somebody send a text to somebody. Somebody send a text to somebody and be like, yo, pick up some great blunts. All right, well, you want to sing?
No, I want to hear you sing.
I'm not singing, but you should just do your old one. We don't have anything to smoke, so we'll just go back to the old ending.
Hey, I could have sworn everybody said they wanted to hear Mike sing. This is show 88. My voice is cracking.
What is this, like a
89, whatever. All right, so then that means show 100 you got to sing. I can't sing 100 shows in a row. That's not.
Why don't just hurt my back?
Yo, I threw out my back today squatting.
I was gonna say,
my shit is twisted right now.
I was gonna make jokes about other reasons why your back might have been thrown out. Well, actually, no. What I was gonna say is that because this morning you washed dishes, I didn't realize you had gone to work out. I thought I was gonna be today Eric's workout was washing dishes and he hurt his back.
Oh Lord.
I might sing someday.
I got rats for pig feet. Bro, I'm scared of pig feet. Oh my God, why would you make us eat that on camera for some blunt wraps?
Willie has a good point.
Maybe if you got 3 ounces of weed, I eat 1 pig foot for every ounce of weed you give me.
Really?
Of course. I would definitely do that.
That includes the hoof though, doesn't it?
Yo, whatever
Doesn't the
you
hoof,
need.
How do you wash down the hoof when you eat a pig's foot?
Whatever you need. What do you mean how?
I don't know how.
Same way you eat bones when you eat chicken.
You really eat them though? Or you don't actually eat chicken bones.
So funny thing is,
you just break them. You might suck the marrow out of them. Some people do that.
Funny thing is, I actually did used to eat chicken bones.
Was thinking I was hungry.
Mike doesn't eat chicken with bones in it because apparently it looks like the chicken still. So why would I eat an entire chicken when I just want the meat? Why do I need to see the bones when I'm just gonna eat the meat? That's Mike's philosophy.
Yeah, don't like charge me by the pound or by like
the pound
or by like the volume, and it's full of bones. Like I don't need all those. I don't need. It's all blank space. It's all blank bone space. I don't need that in my chicken. I just need the meat.
That's what she said. I don't need the bone in my chicken. I just need the meat.
And everyone's like, but the bones make it taste good.
Yeah,
you know it doesn't taste good when I bite into a bone. That doesn't taste good. That's bullshit. And I get it. No, hold on. I get it though, because it's like, because people are like, yo, the boneless stuff is way more expensive. You can like eat reasonably priced when you have the bones in it. I agree with that. I totally get it. I just don't want to eat. It's just kind of gross to me. That's all.
Look,
when the chicken, like, I just want consistent color. I don't care if it's dark meat or white meat. I just want it to be consistent. I don't want like weird,
so what about a T-bone?
Weird like red and like a T-bone steak.
Yeah. Ooh,
no. So here's what I'll say.
That boy stomp.
No. I'm not, because here's my stance on it. Is I'm actually annoyed when I order a steak and it's got a big bone in it, and then I'm like, what the fuck? That's who I am. Because I'm like, it's really big, and then by the time you carve the meat out of it, I'm like, yo, that was like just a little bit of meat. That wasn't, you fooled me. You're making me think it's like a big piece of meat the size of my head, but it's like, the meat is actually only bone. Like, it's only big enough to cover my eye or something.
That needed. So T-bone. But here's the question: is do T-bones bother you?
Yes, compared to like a regular, like a tenderloin, 100%.
Okay,
I feel like I'm getting gypped. It's
would
like
you rather eat a T-bone or some wings?
A T-bone.
You choose a T-bone over the wing.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Interesting. Unlimited wings or one T-bone.
Well, can I choose the sauce? I don't want hot sauce. I want
they both regular.
Oh, they're both just regular, then I'll choose the beef over the chicken.
Okay, and so with sauce, then you choosing
probably still.
So it's some buffalo sauce,
no buffalo sauce. I can't do the hot sauce. Maybe the lemon pepper or like the teriyaki. I like teriyaki. That's pretty good.
Okay.
Teriyaki. I'm down with that. I'm down with the teriyaki.
So y'all hear Mike wants some boneless wings with some teriyaki sauce. No bone. You bring the bone, you get the bone.
No.
I mean.
And on that note. I don't even know how to back out of that comment.
That was terrible on my part. I meant like you give him the bone, then he throws the bone at you. Like, I don't want these wings, and then hit you in the face with a bone wing. So that's what I meant. I ain't mean like you give him chicken wings and then he give you the bone. I ain't mean that.
Yes, boneless meat and overcooked veggies. Wait, why is boneless meat? I get the overcooked veggies, and that's my weird thing. I like mushy veggies. I don't like al dente. I don't like the texture of like crispy veggies. But why is boneless meat fine? Look, when you eat it, it becomes boneless meat in your mouth.
Yeah, I mean,
right? When you got a chicken wing, if you got a chicken wing and you are biting the chicken off the wing, it becomes boneless meat in your mouth. I just want it boneless already. I just don't give me the bones. That's all. Take it off.
You don't want the bones.
It's like lobster. I want Lazy Man's lobster. I want Lazy Man's chicken.
Oh,
just have it off the bone for me already.
Yeah.
Don't give me the bones. I want knuckles and stuff. I don't want those weird things.
The gristle?
The thing that looks like chicken and then it's not really chicken. And I'm like, what? That's like bait and switch shit in my mouth.
That's the true look of chicken. They give you.
Have you ever seen I don't know if you do. You ever see a person like they'll take a wing and they can like and they eat a little bit of chicken off it and then they go like this, Eric, and they stick the whole thing in their mouth and they go like, and they like clean it.
That's me. I'm that person.
Can you do that quick? Like so that
I
you
can
could power
definitely
eat.
do
You could
that.
power eat wings then.
I can definitely do that. Oh, I took it. Oh yeah, I ate the hottest wing challenge at Buffalo.
How many did you do?
I did. I think it was 13.
That's it.
Hell yeah, them shits was hot.
But it's because it was hot. What if it wasn't hot though? How many could you do?
Well, we did. So they did have a boneless.
Oh, boneless, really?
Not boneless. I mean, they had a all you can eat wings day, and so us football players went. And I remember it was all us linemen, defense and offensive linemen. We was just gonna swap the house. I think I did like 35 wings that day. One of my teammates did 60.
Wow.
The other one did like 42. We had 28. Yeah, we just completely destroyed Buffalo Wild Wings and all their sauces that day. I remember us coming in too. We was like, yo, Buffalo Wild Wings having all you can eat wings. Let's all go and see what we can do. Man, the owner came out and everything. He was like, oh, I got all these Nebraska football players in here.
Jordan says be careful because you're going to get uninvited from the cookout if you don't eat wings right.
What are you talking about? Who don't eat wings right?
I might be talking about you because I don't have a black card. You got a black card.
I eat every single part of the wing. The only thing I leave is the long stick, the bone. I eat the edges too, the part that don't even supposed to be eaten, that you ain't even supposed to chew. I just swallow it. That's why I don't chew it. I swallow it because I know my stomach is going to take care of it. I'm not. I swallow it.
I'm hungry.
I shouldn't be saying I swallow a lot. It's not.
And I'm really upset that we don't have blunt wraps.
Word. It's definitely not a good
I kind of
word.
don't. I know you're.
Hi, Lisa. I have some Carolina. I have some Virginia Reaper seeds in here. I need to pop. Yeah, we got no blunt wrappers. That's very unfortunate. Mike is highly distraught right now.
Yeah, I couldn't really believe it.
So
I know you already knew.
It's time to go. We're gonna talk to y'all no more. And this is all we got to smoke. Peace.